Hello guys, welcome back to TFD. You already know what time it is. I keep telling you, the takeover is here. Caitlin Clark is not slowing down for a second. Brand new commercial just dropped and man, it's pure fire. She's working nonstop, off the court and on it. Booked, busy, dominating. Everybody keeps talking about who's doing this and who's doing that, but let's be real, nobody is doing it bigger than CC right now. This new ad? Straight heat. Caitlin's everywhere, from her powerful speaking engagement in New York to the upcoming golf tour to everything she's doing with USA Basketball. It's like she's writing her own blueprint for greatness while everyone else is still figuring it out. And make no mistake, she's getting ready to completely destroy the WNBA in 2026. What we saw in her rookie year was just a preview. Now, let's break down this new Caitlin Clark commercial. The production quality? Crazy. The vibe? On another level. The visuals have that vintage look, super clean, super bold, and all Caitlin. The photos she posted on Instagram are straight art. Every frame looks like something out of a magazine cover. Confident, composed, but with that signature competitive edge that's all hers. You can even check out the new products linked in her post. She's building an empire right in front of us. And I keep seeing people online saying, oh, she needs to focus more on basketball. Like, what are we talking about? You think Caitlin Clark isn't locked in? You think she's not training, rehabbing, getting stronger, and working on her game every single day? Come on, this woman's built different. They got away with one this year, but next season? Oh, it's over. The league better be ready because Caitlin's coming back with vengeance. Stronger, smarter, hungrier. And all these moves she's making off the floor, they're not distractions. They're signs of a superstar in full control of her brand, her game, and her future. Caitlin Clark is a one-woman movement right now. Everything she touches turns to gold. This isn't hype. This is history unfolding. The takeover isn't coming. It's already here.
Let's take a look. So we all know Caitlin Clark made her way to New York City for that big speaking engagement, and she absolutely delivered. She had some powerful things to say out there, thoughtful, confident, and exactly what you'd expect from her. This is all part of that non-stop off-season grind, booked, busy, and always on the move. That's just the Caitlin Clark way. Always pushing forward, always leveling up. Let's check out what she had to say right here.
I still wish I could play an instrument of some sort, but I didn't get that skill set. So anybody that can play an instrument, I'm jealous of you. That's a skill I wish I had. So, but yeah, sports were kind of my thing.
Caitlin Clark continues to prove that she's more than just a generational athlete. She's a force of nature, both on and off the court. On October 29th, Caitlin took the stage at the Long Island Association annual fall luncheon, and the crowd couldn't get enough of her. The room was filled with business leaders, community members, and fans eager to hear from one of the most influential figures in modern sports, and she did not disappoint. Caitlin spoke with the same confidence, focus, and humility that she brings to every game. But this time, it wasn't about basketball plays or highlight reels. It was about her journey. From her beginnings in Iowa, shooting hoops in her driveway, to becoming the face of women's basketball, Caitlin opened up about how every chapter of her life has shaped the woman she is today. She shared how the lessons she's learned through sports, discipline, teamwork, resilience now guide her in her growing business ventures. And that's what truly impressed the audience. Caitlin didn't just talk about the fame or the spotlight. She talked about building something meaningful. She's entering the business world with the same mindset that's made her an icon on the court. Intentional, smart, and fearless. She spoke about partnerships, brand opportunities, and how she's learning to navigate a new world of leadership and entrepreneurship, all while keeping her values at the core of everything she does. People in the audience described the conversation as insightful and inspiring. One attendee said it best: It's so interesting to learn how many things she's passionate about off the court. And that's really the heart of who Caitlin Clark is. Yes, she's one of the greatest shooters the game has ever seen, but she's also deeply passionate about community, mentorship, and using her platform to open doors for others. Throughout her talk, she reflected on how surreal her journey has been, from breaking NCAA records to becoming a household name, and now to standing on stages like this one, speaking to some of the most influential people in business. But what stood out most was her humility. Caitlin repeatedly emphasized that success isn't just about individual achievements. It's about the people who help you along the way and the impact you leave behind. You could feel the energy in the room as she spoke, people nodding, smiling, hanging on to every word. Her honesty about balancing fame, expectations, and personal growth hit home for a lot of listeners. She talked about staying grounded, leaning on her family, and finding joy in...
You hear that? That's the sound of a force of nature, both on and off the court. Caitlin Clark isn't just a generational athlete, she's a once-in-a-lifetime phenomenon. You've got Richard Jefferson out here saying she changed the game like Magic Johnson and Steph Curry. And he's right. We're watching someone who has completely shifted how people see women's basketball. Let's call it what it is. Caitlin Clark is the Michael Jordan of women's basketball. She's already the GOAT before even reaching her prime. That's why her nickname, The Reason, fits perfectly, because she's literally the reason people are tuning in, buying tickets, and caring about the WNBA again. Now, you can see how she's mastered the business side too. The partnerships are rolling in, Nike, the LPGA, massive brand collabs. She's got the formula down cold. Everyone's talking about her merch, the logo, the branding, the image, but look around. NFL players are getting custom Caitlin Clark cleats. NBA players are already rocking her sneakers, and her style is catching fire across all sports. Just imagine when the official CC1s drop, her first signature sneaker with that bold Caitlin Clark logo. I'm telling you right now, she's going to outsell everyone not named Michael Jordan. She's going to move more sneakers than LeBron. She might even surpass Kobe. And trust me, I love the Kobes, but Caitlin's impact is different. She's not just selling shoes, she's selling inspiration, confidence, and excellence. Her fans range from kids in middle school to NBA veterans, and that's something no one else has done at this scale in women's basketball. But what separates Caitlin Clark even more is her voice. She knows how to command a room. When she talks, people listen. And honestly, that's something the WNBA has been missing for a long time. A lot of players struggle with that public presence. The media side, the interviews, the pressers. It's not entirely their fault. For years, they didn't have the spotlight or the audience. But Caitlin, she stepped into that light like she was born for it. She speaks with confidence, she handles tough questions with class, and she connects with the crowd like a natural. That's leadership. That's charisma. And that's exactly why brands, fans, and athletes across every league want to align with her. Caitlin Clark is setting a new standard, not just for what it means to dominate a sport, but for how to own your image, your brand, and your influence. She's showing her peers that it's not enough to just play. You've got to build, connect, and inspire. So yeah, all these players need to take notes, because if they want commercials, endorsements, or cultural relevance like Caitlin Clark, they need to start doing what she's doing, on the court and beyond. The takeover isn't coming. It's already happening.
All right, you guys, we've got some really interesting stuff to check out today. First off, big shout out to Rachel DeMita. She's been killing it lately. If you're not already tuned into her show, Courtside Club, go do that. It's dope. It's fire. Rachel's been bringing some top-tier conversations to the table. Now, this right here is a clip from her recent interview with Richard Jefferson. And trust me, you're going to want to hear what he had to say.
And how he's impacted and elevated the NBA. Do you feel like Caitlin has done something similar for the W?
Yes, 100%. I think when you look at it, and obviously there's a competitive side. The WNBA is one of the most difficult statistically leagues to play in, right? With the number of roster spots. And so there's an inherent competitiveness that goes on within that. But I think you look at what Steph and LeBron have done for the game. You look at what Magic and Larry did for the game. You look at what Jordan carried. There's so many. If you look at the course of NBA history, there's blocks of times where superstar players moved it forward, right? And so I think when you look at what Caitlin Clark and really the rivalries that started in there's so many. If you look at the course of NBA history, there's blocks of times where superstar players moved it forward, right? And so I think when you look at what Caitlin Clark and really the rivalries that started in college and Angel Reese and those games, that buzz from college brought that energy to the WNBA. Very similar to how the rivalry between Magic and Larry brought that rivalry to the NBA, and then it continued to grow. So, what Caitlin Clark has done, what the entire women's group has done, has been very, very impressive. And it's like you're proud, right? As a hooper, it's like I'm proud that they're getting the attention that they deserve. I'm proud that people are starting to recognize that they are some of the most talented hoopers on the planet. And sometimes it takes a moment, but they all figure it out.
You talked about Caitlin and Steph. Do you think that they've ruined the youth game?
No,
I'm just kidding.
I didn't know. I kid you not. It's like we can't. Yes, the 3-point shot is something that kids feel that they can do, right? Shaq didn't ruin a game because everybody was trying to dunk. It's just something that makes them very, very relatable. But I think that they've helped grow the game, right? Wemby would not be shooting, 35-foot threes had Steph not made it acceptable. Now all of a sudden we have a 7'5" guy that's doing it. And now we're like, that's ruined the game. Because it's like, well, we can't. Normally this man would be training how to do a hook shot. Now he's out here practicing tweens and around the backs and 35-foot. Like, come on. So that's the stuff that I think is funny when you kind of watch the progression of the sport. But Mel, I think that they just evolved the game, and I think the game has evolved before. We talked about Shaq changing the equipment. We saw Kareem Abdul-Jabbar and Bill Walton. They weren't allowed to dunk because it was going to be a...
Okay, speaking of in this CBA.
I would tell them to trust their instincts. I think, obviously there's been a lot of criticism about the commissioner. And there's been that, obviously, that dynamic between, the league and the players. And look, I've seen enough stories and been a part of them, and David Stern, and the commissioner works for the owners, right? If you're not happy with the commissioner, that's another topic, right? Don't get so fixated on that. That is the person that works for the league. They're trying to do what's best for the owners. You have the head of your players association, and they're trying to do what's best for the players. And the job is to come together and meet in the middle. And I believe that the Players Association on the women's side, I think they have great leadership, and I think they'll end up coming together with a term. Now, we already know that there's going to be a significant increase. We know that. But their job is really to fight for every percentage, every inch, every drop that they can, because they all have a window of playing time over the course of their career. So they should be stubborn on a level, but also I think that they should, also be open-minded. And so that's one of those ones where they have to meet in the middle. And I think the women have great leadership, and I think they'll get what they deserve.
Caitlin Clark is truly one of one. She's the first college player whose entire fan base actually translated over to the pros. Like, think about that. We've seen so many incredible players come out of UConn, Tennessee, Stanford, legends, but their college followings didn't carry into the WNBA the same way. I mean, I watched a ton of women's college hoops, but honestly, once most of those players hit the league, the visibility just dropped. It felt like they disappeared off the map, except for big names like Diana Taurasi or Maya Moore. But Caitlin Clark? Totally different story. Her star power doesn't just follow her, it multiplies wherever she goes. Whether she's in the WNBA, showing up at an NFL game, MLB ballpark, or even at a golf tournament, her fan base pulls up. She's got that crossover effect.
the type of energy we've never seen before in women's basketball. She doesn't just belong to the sport, she's become a full-on cultural figure. And even Richard Jefferson pointed this out in his interview with Rachel DeMita on Courtside Club. He said it himself, this kind of reach, this level of star power is new. The league's never seen anything like it. Caitlin's the reason people who never watched a minute of women's basketball are suddenly tuning in. Now, when it came to the CBA talk, Richard Jefferson made a really solid point. He said, they'll get what they deserve, but they've got to be willing to meet in the middle. And that's real. You're not going to get every single demand, every fine detail, but you can still build something that moves the league forward, something that benefits the next generation of players. Progress doesn't come all at once, it comes step by step. And that's what Caitlin's presence is doing. It's moving the entire league in the right direction. The popularity, the sponsorships, the exposure, all of that brings leverage when it's time to negotiate the next deal. Big shout out once again to Rachel DeMita. She's been putting out some incredible content with Courtside Club, bringing in names like Richard Jefferson and really getting deep perspectives that fans need to hear. And props to Richard too, always keeping it real and offering thoughtful insight on how the game and the business sides come together. But yeah, Caitlin Clark's impact, it's different. It's global. It's magnetic. She's the bridge between college stardom and professional superstardom, something women's basketball has been waiting for. Drop your thoughts in the comments. Do you think Caitlin's influence is already changing the WNBA for good? Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. TFD will catch you in the next one.